Oh, welcome back, boys and girls. We're back at Grandpa's farm. We're just leaving one of the farmer's houses here. We stopped here for breakfast and then chit-chat a little bit, but we got some corn harvest to dig into today. We finished up bean harvest off camera. Made some money for the farm. If you notice, we're not in the Chevy. We still have the Chevy, but we bought a new pickup. We bought a Cummins 6.2 liter diesel. It has just a little more pulling power than the Chevy does. So that's a benefit for us in case we ever got a bumper pull, or if we ever put a gooseneck in here, we can pull a little more. But there's something on the farm. We did get from the farmer we were just at. He did give us a truck and a lowboy trailer to transport our combine, as we do have some fields that are a good distance from the farm, and that combine, as you guys know, is not very fast. So he gave us this Peterbilt, this black Peterbilt with purple color and cattle guard on the front, this lowboy trailer. And then we went out and bought a John Deere 843 8-row corn head for the 8820 over here. Or, yeah, 8820 over here. So, we're going to jump into corn harvest in today's video. So, we're going to go up and drop the bean head here before we do anything. That way we can start corn harvest. So, but if you have not seen the first video from Grandpa's farm, make sure to click the end of the video. It'll pop up on your screen. Make sure you go check that one out so you understand how we got this farm. Gonna go to the trailer here and grab the header. Maybe that might actually be too high for us to grab. Nope, we got it. Corn header is grabbed. We're gonna fill up with diesel before we go. Fill the combine and grain truck up with diesel, as they are both running extremely low. I mean, we worked them long hours. If you guys do notice, it is January 2nd. Well, we were in the middle of harvesting the first field of beans. We got hit with some snow, and we had to delay. Everything. So we had to wait for the snow to stop and for it to clear away. So we had to wait an extra day before we could actually finish bean harvest. So, which, isn't what you hope for. You always want to get stuff knocked out as soon as possible, but it's okay. We got it done nonetheless, so that's all that matters. Make sure not to hit our truck when we fill the grain truck. Truck's filled up. Hop up on our phone here, and we will look and see which field is the closest to which one to start with. Okay. Which one? Soybean. So it looks like 86 or 82. '86 or 82. That's right. This field was that was a lease situation there, so we don't need that field anymore. So 86. We'll go to 86 and start with 86 first, and then we will go to 82. But put our hazards on, we'll get on the road. So bean harvest was a success. We got that done, and we made a decent amount of cash. So we will figure out what to do with that money once harvest is over with, and once we probably after we get spring planting done. We need to spend money on fertilizer, seeds, and lime. So those will focus on the necessities, and then we'll look and think about maybe getting upgraded equipment or another tractor, maybe a bigger shed. I've been thinking about a bigger shed, and I think I know where I want to put it, but we'll think more about that after spring planting's done. But mostly because we need to get our fertilizer, seed, and lime stuff bought and applied first before we spend our money on anything else that we necessarily don't need right now. So yeah, it was a good purchase to get that lowboy, because as you can see, this combine does not go very fast. It goes 16 miles per hour, so it would take a while to get to, these two cornfields down here and there. I mean, it's taken a while just to get to these two up here, but luckily they're not a horrible distance away from the farm, so we could survive. But I mean, so far, I feel like we're doing pretty good for us never farming once in our life before. The equipment seems to be running smooth. I didn't have any issues with bean harvest. Now corn, I don't know. I'm hoping it'll be the same thing if we have no issues with it, but you never know with farming. It's so unpredictable. So we just kind of go with the flow and hope and pray for the best. So I'm actually gonna go down at an angle in this ditch, and we will start the field here. Lower. No. Turn on separator, header. We are into corn harvest. Our first ever corn harvest of our life, and on Grandpa's farm. I'm just gonna cut into the field here. And just to show you guys the yield that we got off these 2 fields of soybeans, it wasn't, you know, plot 50 was a lot better than plot 47, as you can see up here on the western edge. 22 wasn't horrible, but wasn't great. And 158 was not great. So hopefully for corn, it's a little better. Won't know until we get done. Whoa! Won't fall into the creek or whatever that was. But yeah, another field that Grandpa took care of in terms of weeds. There's not seeing a whole lot of weeds in between the rows here, so that's good. Now, disclaimer: in real life, I know about farming. I live out in the country, and I will say, in real life, when you're in a combine doing corn and you watch the rows, you can get like almost like hypnotized almost, and watching them shake and feed into the header, it's actually kind of crazy, but it is realistic. They do shake like this in real life. Some headers and combines cause them to shake more than others, but you know, it is a realistic feature that corn does, is it does shake when feeding into the header. So that is a nice touch they added to this game and into 25. I do have a couple videos on 25 if you go check those out down in the channel. There's playlists on there. But yeah, corn doesn't seem to be yielding as high as it can. I mean, corn is a crop where it can yield very, very high, but it also can yield very low. So this is the case of it yielding very low. So it might not even need the grain truck for this, actually. With how low this is yielding, I think our beans yielded faster than this. Those still didn't yield the best. It'll take us a couple seasons, a couple years before we get the maximum yield and stuff. And then by then, the yield itself might be too high for the small equipment we have. Not necessarily the acres, but just the equipment size in terms of capacity. But a 16-row head, and I know Grandpa always told us when we were little, but old enough to understand, you want your header to be able to be divided evenly into your planter's row number. So we have I believe that's either a 12 row or 16 row. I'd have to check. I think it's a 16 row. So our header does divide evenly into our planter. So say for instance, if we were a bigger farmer and we had like a 24 row planter, we could run a 4 row, a 6 row, a 8 row, or a 12 row corn header. 16 row we could, but it wouldn't divide evenly into the planter rows, but we don't have to worry about that problem. We have the biggest header made when Grandpa farmed with an 8-row, so and the biggest header that can fit this combine. So maybe eventually, though, by the time we get a stable farm going on and we learn our ways, we'll upgrade maybe to, this is an 8-row, maybe a 12-row. Not on this combine, on a different combine. So this combine I don't think can handle a 12. There's no way it can handle a 12-row. It barely handled the bean header that we had. So deer. That little stalk we left there, that could be for the deer. They can eat that. Yeah, like I said, everything's running smoothly. The combine's running smooth for how old it is. Nothing seems to be, sounding like it shouldn't, or moving like it shouldn't, or anything like that. Not to jinx anything or whatnot, but which is lucky for us. Because, like I said, with our lack of experience in farming, that would have been tragic if we dropped that off into the ravine down there. Luckily we didn't. Maybe I should stop talking while harvesting, and I need to focus. But like I was saying, it's lucky because I wouldn't know how to fix it. I would have to call either the farmers that we were at. I would have to call Mike, or we would have to take it to the shop, and I don't even want to know how expensive that would be. So I already can tell that this corn is yielding very, very, very low, very badly. Just based off my real life experiences, I know this is. But in the roleplay sense, we don't know. And I do want to just let everyone know, I'm not an idiot when it comes to farming. Like, in real life, I understand what farming is. I'm in, Nebraska, so trust me, I know what farming is. I also know how painful our football team has been to watch over the last couple of years, but things are turning around. They're turning around for the football team. But besides that, I'm not an idiot when it comes to farming. I understand majority of I understand the concept, a majority of it, but In this series, for the roleplay sense, we're from the city, so we don't understand a whole lot of it, but we're growing knowledge as we go. So, just to clarify things for you guys. So, we're going to try to stick to the roleplay as much as we can, but every now and then we might have to clarify something just in reality, but... we might actually need to bring the truck down here. I didn't think we were going to need to based off how it started. It started off so slow, but it's kind of picked up. Yielding wise, I mean, we also do have half the field done, so I mean, that's not a great yield when you can fit half the field into a tiny little, I don't know what you call it, bin hopper thing that we have. It doesn't hold a lot, so if we can hold half the field on that, you know it's not good yielding corn, I assume. But, I don't know, it is what it is. We can't control anything that happened before we took over the farm. We can just control what happens in the future, the farm's future. So we will. I was dumb and had a dumb moment. We didn't do the end passes to give us turnaround room. And I think that's why I almost put it in the ravine. So we're going to do that on this half of the field. Because there is water and there are trees there. The last thing I want to do is dunk this in a pond or run a tree through it. So we'll try and prevent that as much as we can. I think we're a row off too much to the right, but that'll be okay. That'll be a row too far over to the right a row, than too far left over a row, so. And if you guys would like to see this series, you know, since it's roleplay, I understand that on all farms that are run by new people run smoothly. Now this is a reality moment right here, okay? I understand that not all farms that are owned by new people run smoothly and go as planned. So if you would like to see this carry over into 25, let me know, because we can have some unforeseen obstacle come up where we're forced to, like, you know, maybe move or something, you know, and start over. We can have something like that happen when we go to 25. So you guys, let me know down in the comments if you'd like to see that. Oddly enough, we did need the grain truck. With how that field started out, I didn't think we were going to need the truck, but we do. Which, I mean, that's not the end of the world. So I'd rather need the grain truck than not need it. So it doesn't mean the corn's are good. It just means that we feel common with this poorly yielding crop. So. Drop down in the ditch here. For some reason this field does not have a driveway. Wish it did, but it doesn't. Maybe we can hire somebody to help us build one, or we can build one. Wow, were we off? Huh. Please. Fill that up. We'll let that run. Oh man. So we'll do this whole field in this video, guys, because it's not going to take long to get the rest of this done, and then I'll get the rest of this done off camera. I don't know yet. I'll have to see how long it takes me, but I do know there won't be a video Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday on the channel because I'm not home, but or Monday because I don't record on Mondays. But expect a return next Tuesday, a week from today. Going on a little vacation with the fam. Gonna see some people I don't get to see a whole lot often because they're not, you know, they're a little far from home, so it'll be good to see them. But we'll be back next week. So, but I promise you guys I will get this done, and if not, I will post something probably on Facebook, on my Facebook page, if I don't get it done. It'll just be another video of corn harvest, I guess, which, I mean, isn't the worst thing to happen in the world, you know. It's a lot easier to do this first person than it is beans, because I can't really see the end of the bean header that well. But with corn, you got the snouts, I believe is what they're called, and you just run it down the rows. So, but also I do want to say this, guys. This isn't roleplay. This is channel information. The last video on this was the first time that I actually tried editing a video. And for me, I am not a tech savvy, you know, creative on computer type person. So that video may not have looked good to you, but to me, that was some of the best stuff that I have ever done since I did a little like iMovie type thing in my freshman year of high school. I thought it turned out good. If you thought it turned out good as well, let me know down in the comments. And I didn't use anything crazy. I literally just used CapCut. I used CapCut, and I used anything that was free, charged to me to use. I did try to use something else, but in order for me to use that, I would have had to pay for a different plan, and I didn't have the money for it, so I couldn't do it, sadly, which I wish I did, because it would have looked it would have looked amazing. I mean, and it stinks, but you know, you can only do so much. You can only do what's in your control, you know. So, but you know, it's upsetting, but you know, we move on. So, but I mean, like I said, you can only do so much, and then in that case, I just decided to be smart and be like, you know, if I don't need it, I don't need it. So, but another non-roleplay topic. Those of you that are subscribed to this channel and that are subscribed to my weather channel, Colton's Weather Updates, that channel has not gone anywhere. The weather has just been so quiet that I have had nothing to record or talk about. The videos would be 30 seconds long, or I'd have to drag them out or something, and I just don't feel like doing that right now. And it's not that I don't have the motivation to. Trust me, I want to record a weather video for you guys, but I just don't know what. I need to try and figure something out or something, but right now I just don't. There's just nothing to talk about. Like, the weather is that quiet. The only thing to talk about is hurricanes, and I don't know a whole lot about hurricanes to talk about them, because I don't want to spread any misinformation to you guys that are subscribed to that channel, if you're subscribed on here as well. So I'm just gonna stay with what I know, and I'll learn more about hurricanes, you know, as I go. But just a little update that channel hasn't gone anywhere. There's just been nothing to talk about. And I hate to bore you with, you know, a 10-minute video where there's nothing to talk about, and I'm just talking about random nonsense, so like I do on here. So that's just the reason why there hasn't been anything on that channel for a while. And I'm beginning to think that we didn't split this field in half evenly. This half seemed like it's taken a lot longer than that other half did, so. I do need to get down here. I do need to run a couple border passes on this side too, because we're starting to turn into that ditch, and I don't want to damage the header of the combine by turning with it. It's turning around down here, so we're gonna do 2 passes on the edge here. Not leaving those for the deer. It's too much. Too much. They don't pay me enough money to do my work, so. This, another non-roleplay topic. This I know for a fact most farmers don't do. When harvesting corn, they don't harvest like this. If they do their end passes, they make sure that they can keep their snouts within the row and they don't go like this in case they, you know, knock over. Mostly because they'll knock over the stock or risk of damaging a snout or something on the header. But in the video game, we can do what we want, so we're gonna do it like this. Half full. I think we'll be able to fit the rest of this field in the combine, but I also could be wrong. So, but it's also not like we have a whole lot left to do. Actually, we have more than I think. We have more than I think we have. So, actually, we might have to dump to the truck. Maybe not, though. We'll see. It may not, though, but we'll find out. Oh my goodness, guys. These corn textures are amazing. These are nice corn textures. Way better than the base game corn textures in this part of the game. So, props to the creator of this map. I mean, these textures are amazing. I love when you can find a map that doesn't have the base game crop textures, because it just adds, especially these textures, adds more of a realistic feel. Because realistically, this is what a harvested cornfield looks like. We have a lot more than I thought we did. We'll need to dump into the truck again before we're done. Yeah, we have a lot more than I thought we did, so I'll have to we'll dump into the truck again before we're done with the field, so that's for sure. Over too far to the right here, I think. Collected another row on the last pass. Whoops. So we'll put the pipe out of the way. We don't have to actually get full. We can just shove the truck underneath, unload, and then I think we'll be able to fit the rest of the field into the combine. Still not, I'm not the best farmer out there, guys, so give me a break. What happened? We were doing so good. Now we get down to this end of the field and it's like all still. What on earth? Gotta keep our snouts down the road to prevent stuff like that from happening, so we can not have any more issues like that. Get to the end of this path without having to stop. Yes, we can. Optical illusion. I'm making you think that's there. Trust me, I got it. I didn't actually get it. We won't be able to fit the whole combine into the truck. The truck will be full before we are empty. Also, let me know down in the comments what's your favorite truck brand? And if you guys want me to get a different truck, what brand should I get? Chevy, Ford, or should I stick with the Dodge? You guys let me know down in the comment section. I also noticed in my video that sometimes the video quality would get really grainy and you couldn't see, and that was when I would run. But after that it wasn't horrible, so that is why, trust me, the PC's not that low end. It runs this game just fine. It runs 25 just fine. It was just when I run it, the quality got a little messed up. That's all. Okay. Now this combine, it handles this 8-row head pretty well. I was kind of worried when I bought it. I was kind of skeptical if we were going to be able to, if the combine was going to be able to run the header this well, just with it being an 8-row head. But the combine is running the header a lot better than I had imagined. So that's good. Hopefully it stays like that as long as we have it. One more pass and the field will be done. We'll have our first cornfield on Grandpa's farm completely harvested. Boom. See what I mean by you want to have? Grandpa was right. Having your header divide evenly into your planter. When you're harvesting, your last pass should be the header width. It should be the same size as your header, and we just had that happen. We have an 8-row head. This field is probably planted with a 16-row or a 24-row planter, and the last pass was 6 rows, so perfect. That's gonna be all for me today, guys, on Grandpa's farm. We knocked out the first field of corn. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button down below. If you're new here and you like what you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below, turn it gray, ring that notification bell so you get notified every time I post a video. Remember to keep it loud, keep it safe, keep it hype, and I will see you all in the next one.